Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a really powerful and proven playbook for achieving financial freedom. It's all based on the principles of investor Mohnish Pabrai. So let's get right into it.
First things first, we're going to flip a common belief completely on its head. We're all taught that a traditional 9-to-5 job is the safe, secure path. But what if the exact opposite is true? What if that thing you think is safe is actually the biggest risk you could possibly take?
This single number, it reveals a massive kind of hidden problem with the way we all work. 85%. Yeah, you heard that right. A staggering 85% of people are not fully engaged or happy in their jobs. They're just going through the motions. And this is exactly why we need a different way of thinking about risk, reward, and what it really means to build a life that's not just secure, but also meaningful.
Okay, so the entire foundation of this playbook, it all rests on one really powerful mental model from India. It's a concept that completely redefines what it means to be an entrepreneur.
It's called Dhandho. Now, this isn't about reckless gambling or making these huge, high-stakes bets. It's the art of finding opportunities where the odds are just stacked overwhelmingly in your favor, where you can't really lose. Just think about that for a second. What would you try if you knew the absolute worst that could happen is you just break even?
And this is not just some theory, right? It's a proven strategy used by some of the most successful people in the world. Richard Branson started Virgin Atlantic with literally no money down. He just leased a plane. Bill Gates, he left Harvard, but he always had the option to go back. His downside was totally covered. And the Patel family built a motel empire by using their family for labor, which wiped out their biggest cost. They were all playing a game where they just couldn't lose much.
Okay, let's get to the first play in the playbook. And this might be the most counterintuitive piece of business advice you'll ever hear. It's all about mastering the art of copying. We are obsessed with this myth of the lone genius, the brilliant inventor who comes up with something nobody has ever seen before. We're taught that to succeed, you have to be original. But is that really true?
The simple answer is no. Actually, the fastest, lowest risk path to success is often to become an expert cloner, to just take a proven concept that already works and do it better, or maybe for a different audience.
I mean, just take a look at some of the biggest brands in history. Microsoft Word and Excel were clones of products that already existed. Walmart was a clone of big retailers like Sears. And Starbucks, Howard Schultz cloned the Italian cafe experience for an American audience. These guys weren't inventors, they were masterful cloners.
All right, let's get tactical. You've got an idea you can clone. So where do you find the time? This is the 9-month game plan for building a business on the side without giving up the security of your paycheck.
Every week has 168 hours. Once you take out sleep and your day job, you're left with this massive block of over 70 hours. That time, the time you're currently spending on chores, commuting, or watching Netflix, that's where your opportunity is hiding.
So, the playbook reclaims this time. You carve out 4 hours on weekdays and 10 hours on each weekend day. That adds up to a full 40 hours a week for your new venture. And notice what doesn't change: your sleep and your day job. You're building your future without rocking the boat in your present.
Now here's the controversial part. You have to make a choice. Pabrai's advice is to basically stop trying to be employee of the month at your day job. Instead, you save your best mental and physical energy for your own thing. Do just enough so they don't fire you and pour the rest into building your dream.
So, you're putting in the hours, you're building your clone. But how do you know if you're building the right thing? Well, your secret weapon here isn't your brilliant idea. It's your potential customer.
Your first idea, it's almost guaranteed to be wrong, or at least not quite right. It's really just a hypothesis. The real magic happens when you get that idea in front of actual people, you listen, really listen, to their feedback, and you're flexible enough to pivot.
Pabrai's own story is the perfect example of this. He was pitching a bank on 7 different services, but the client kept stopping him, saying, "Go back to slide 10. He quickly realized that one single slide was addressing their most severe pain point. So he threw out the other 6 ideas, built a whole new presentation around just that one slide, and he made the sale. He listened, and the customer basically handed him the entire business model.
Building a business that's making cash, that's the first engine for financial freedom. The second, and just as powerful, engine is making that money work for you through the incredible power of compounding.
The rule of 72 is such a great mental shortcut. If you want to figure out how long it takes your money to double, you just divide 72 by your annual interest rate.
So at a 10% return, your money doubles every 7.2 years. At 7%, it's about every 10 years. Just understanding this simple rule is fundamental to building wealth over the long haul.
For a mind-blowing example of this in action, think about the sale of Manhattan. If the $23 used to buy the island back in 1623 had been invested at just 7% a year, today it would be worth over $23 trillion. That's more than the actual value of the land. It just shows that with a long enough timeline, even a tiny amount of money can grow into an unimaginable fortune.
So in the end, the plan is brutally simple. You don't need to be a stock-picking genius. Just spend less than you earn, start as early as you possibly can, and consistently, that's the key word, consistently put money into a low-cost, broad market index fund. Then, just forget about it. Let it compound while you focus your real energy on building your business.
And in the end, it all comes back to this one beautiful principle. Structure every decision, in your business and in your life, so that the potential upside is massive, and the potential downside is almost nothing.
So we've walked through the whole framework, the low-risk mindset, the power of cloning, the 9-month game plan, and the 2-engine approach to wealth. You have the playbook. The only question left is, what's your first move?